Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Indah Sufi Bantini Abdul Aziz and my matrix number is 1250628. Today I'll be presenting about the future of the administration of Islamic law, challenges, innovations and institutional reforms. To begin, let us briefly look at how Islamic law was introduced and developed in Malaysia. Islam arrived in the Malay archipelago around the 10th to 13th centuries, primarily through Indian and Arab traders. Over time, Islam did not only influence religious practices, but also brought significant changes to the political, academic, and social structures of Malay society. By the 14th century, Islamic law became more firmly established when Islam was adopted as the religion of the state and rulers were required to be Muslims. Islamic law in Malaysia is derived from classical sources such as the Quran, Sunnah, Ijma, and also Qiyas. Today, Islamic law forms part of Malaysia's legal system, operating alongside civil law. Its scope mainly covers matters involving Muslims, such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, maintenance, and religious affairs, while still remaining subject to constitutional arrangements. Moving on, this presentation aims to highlight the future direction of the administration of Islamic law in Malaysia. The main objectives are threefold. First, to examine the current structure and scope of Islamic law within Malaysia's dual legal system. Second, to identify key challenges that hinder its effective administration. And third, to explore innovations and institutional reforms that can strengthen Islamic law so it remains relevant, efficient, and responsive to modern societal needs. Despite its development, the administration of Islamic law in Malaysia faces several key challenges. One major challenge is the limitation of scope. Although Islam is the religion of the Federation, the application of Islamic law is constitutionally limited and largely confined to personal and religious matters. Secondly, there is the issue of exclusive jurisdiction in theory but not always in practice. Simply put, while Sharia courts are said to have exclusive jurisdiction over Islamic matters, interference by civil courts has historically occurred. And lastly, the slow development of Islamic law is another concern. Legal reforms are often sensitive and controversial, which makes amendments and progress more gradual compared to civil. However, several important innovations have been introduced to address these challenges. One key development is e-Sharia, which involves the digitalization of the Sharia court system. This includes platforms such as e-Nafkah, e-Bichara, e-Faraid, e-Force, which improve efficiency and access to justice. Another innovation is in Islamic finance and wealth management. Instruments such as Sukuk and Hibah have gained prominence, especially in addressing unresolved inheritance issues in the court. Finally, centralized administration through institutions like JAKIM and JKSM helps to coordinate and standardize Islamic law across different states. In addition to innovation, institutional reform plays a crucial role in strengthening Islamic law. One important reform is the provision of research grants to encourage academic and legal research in Islamic law. Publishing this research in both national and international journals also helps improve transparency and public understanding. Another proposal is the establishment of a one-stop center for Sharia legal aid, which would provide accessible legal assistance, especially to low-income Muslim families, including support in family and inheritance. To conclude, Islamic law in Malaysia operates within a unique dual legal system. Sharia law functions alongside civil law and applies mainly to Muslims in areas such as family, inheritance, and religious affairs. While it faces challenges like limited jurisdiction and slow development, continuous innovation and institutional reforms have strengthened its roles. Within the adoption of digital systems and improved coordination among institutions, the administration of Islamic law in Malaysia continues to evolve to remain relevant, efficient, and responsive to contemporary needs. Very much, that is all from me.